All right. Welcome back to the Raptor Strike YouTube channel. Some pretty exciting things that we have here in the studio. First off, as you can see, a differential cover that is from Spicer, as well as some AMSOIL severe gear oil that we're going to be using from our friends over at AC Oil and Supply. I guess one of the questions would be, why do you want to upgrade your differential cover? So currently, this is what a factory differential cover looks like. And as you notice, none of these features are there. So once you're trying to do an interval for an oil change on your gears, you have to pop that entire original differential cover off, and it just makes a huge mess. So a nice thing about the Spicer is you can either go with the Spicer cover, or if you're fancy, you can get the one that says Ford Performance. It is very much the same part. Just the Spicer one's cheaper. And if it does the same thing and it's cheaper, why pay a little extra money? Because then you can order your oil instead of that. But the nice thing, some of the features that come with this is an actual drain plug. So that way you're not having to pop the entire thing off and redo everything, as well as 2 fill plugs. So you either have, this is the factory amount, I believe 4 quarts, or you have an option to add in another quart, an additional quart. That's mostly for, from what I've read, is either pinion angle, or if you're doing a lot of performance work or just heavy towing and you want that extra amount of oil to just help lubricate things, because we know how things can go wrong. Other parts are the finning. The finning isn't exactly for cooling, but from what Spicer states, sorry. From what they state is it's more so for structural rigidity. So that way if anything does hit or it does come into contact with anything, these can kind of help and minimize the amount of damage that the factory cover could take, and it could, make it dent or either come in contact with the gears that are inside. Other than that, also what comes with the kit when you buy it, you get a package of brand new fasteners, which I've been told to not use and just use the ones that are factory. I just made a hole in the wall. And also, we also get this little goodie. This is how it came in the box. But the other good thing is this gasket that they say is reusable and they provide to you, you also shouldn't use. And you can purchase a LubeLocker. So this one is also a reusable gasket, and all of this is going on the truck today. So we will see y'all guys when we get to the shop and start installing this stuff, because a lot of the stuff has been sitting in the studio for a while, and 2025 has been crazy, but we're glad to have y'all along for the build, and it's gonna be crazy. We'll see y'all guys outside. All right, so now that we're under the vehicle, again, here's what your factory cover looks like. You can use a pry tool or a screwdriver, whatever you have, and you're gonna get these harness pieces off. All right, about now is a good time to take a photo. That way you can remember where you need these studs and we don't forget. So grab you a 13mm deep socket, and I would recommend starting from the bottom.
Don't forget to have a drain pan under them too.
That's very true. And some protection if you're working at home. Also, another good thing to note is when you're doing this on your truck, you will have the factory spare right here. but all of that and exhaust will be in this area. So probably to give you some room, you're going to want to drop your spare. That way you can get here with enough elbow space. But I don't run spares underneath the bed. And of course you can see my exhaust heads right there. So just a little bit of a disclaimer, you will have things in your way. All right, so just so y'all know, a 10 millimeter is going to be needed for this bracket here, where the brake lines are connected to the center of the axle. Let me grab. That's what we have tools for.
Power tools.
Yeah, I always forget that we have these.
All right.
Your studs are here, here, and here. Oh yeah, here's not here.
Reusing gaskets.
Yeah, so they do say that this is a reusable gasket. Just clean it off and put it on again. You can slap it back on if you're not doing a diff cover change. If you're only doing the diff oil change, you can clean all this up, and then slap everything back on. Or I believe you can also use the LubeLocker, right?
Yeah.
With the factory cover. So we're just gonna let all that drop off. All right, so you're gonna want to clean this as best you can, the best mating surface that you can get for that LubeLocker gasket. Something else that I forgot to mention for the new diff cover is, as you're gonna see from here, you got a lot of little specks, a lot of metal shavings, which is normal because, you know, you got metal going at 100, 200, 300 miles an hour. You're gonna have some metal shavings in there, but on the Spicer, the actual drain plug also has a magnet, so that way it tries to keep all of those shavings away from the gears. So that's another little benefit to that. But from this, I'm just gonna try to get it a little bit more cleaned as best as I can, and then we'll be putting everything on. Okay, again, make sure your surface is as clean as possible. We let this sit a little bit longer. Also, try to clean up the existing bolts as best as possible. And I also got some thread locker from Motorcraft, some red locker just like what was originally there. Now we're gonna get our
lubrication locker.
All right, ready for some Car Guy package ASMR? Oh, hold on.
That is already.
Hold on.
Yeah, no, that's already failed the ASMR test.
My bad. All right. Oh, here. There you go.
There we go. mildly,
Disappointing.
yeah.
Okay. The other thing is making sure that you have it the correct way, because it will only go one way. While we're doing this, some of the other cool stuff that you can see on the channel and things that are happening in the background. All of the oil that is going into this diff, as well as for the next oil change for the truck, is coming from our new partners, AC Oil and Supply. So we have a promo going on with them. Check the link in the description, or you can go over to raptorstrike.net and take a look at all of our partners and our sponsors that we have for our racing team. I'd like to be a race car driver, but a lot of those promos, actually 99% of those promos, there's no kickback for us. This is all just savings, because ya boys know how hard life is, so we wanted to make sure we can get some savings for everyone, and you know, just try our best to pay back something for the viewers, you know. But head on over there and see all the deals we have and all the people that help us support the people that support us. So that's also cool. The other thing is, in the coming months, we are in, as of the filming of this video, it is June 28th. By the time November comes around, you're gonna see footage of the bed and all of this suspension here completely ripped out and gone. So we have
gonna be gone.
Yeah, we have some pretty big things coming up. Untold Off-road has become one of our sponsors, and they are going to be doing a custom rear suspension that is undersprung. So instead of seeing the leaf springs up here on top of the axle with this plate here and everything else, the springs will be down here. So he's going to be relocating these traction bars and stuff like that. But again, that's for another video. I just wanted to bring it up just in case some of y'all are still watching. Now that I think about it, that sounds kind of sad if they're still watching. Anyways, on to this. These are 11 foot-pounds, the drain plug and the 2 fill plugs, and these are 33 foot-pounds. And remember, these are the originals that we took off. We did not use the ones that came with the kit. Okay, 3. And you know what I just realized?
What?
I didn't put any of the thread locker. Alright, well, we'll let y'all know what happens if you don't put thread locker. At worst case scenario is it starts to leak and then I have to buy a new gasket. But that's okay, because then I'll just buy the ARP bolts. So, well, I didn't use this, at your discretion. Anyways, so I'm not about to take all that off. Alright. And they say to do it in a star pattern. So, and when you're torquing anything down, take your time and wait for the click. Don't just try to completely manhandle this thing, and because these will break and then you're really screwed. Just making sure we have, yeah. tighten up the, or I guess before I do that, let me show y'all. Like I said, here's the drain plug, and there's that magnet. So that way you can see it does have a magnet. Since we're going to do a full 4 quarts, I'm going to fill from the top fill plug. And I'm going to tighten this one down while we're at it. These back. Order. Don't forget that 10mm that goes on top. Alrighty. Clean all this out already. And again, AMSOIL Severe Gear 75W90.
It's a factory spec, right?
I believe so. This is what was recommended by the guys over at AC Oil and Supply. So let's see. The other nice thing is, along with these, just like if you're doing the transmission, you either need a pump or you need to put a hand pump on it. These are just like the easy fill, so you undo the top, cut a hole in here, stick that in there, and then you can just squeeze all the oil you can out of there. Smells like gear oil.
Delicious.
Right in there, and right. Alrighty, and with that, there is your new diff cover, new diff oil, and yeah, for more, just stay tuned to the channel, and thanks for the support. Be cool, stay humble. See you guys later.
Eat.